As Karnataka gears up for elections in May 2023, Basavaraj Bommai cabinet made a crucial decision on Friday, scrapping 4% reservation under the OBC quota for Muslims to accommodate 2% each to the Lingayats and Vokkaligas and two other communities that determine the poll outcomes for the BJP. The Muslims will now be accommodated to 10% economically weaker section category, which has others like Brahmins, Jains benefiting from the economic weaker sections quota. The Vokkaligas that are getting 4% will now be increased to 6%, and Lingayats who were getting 5% reservation will now get 7%.
We have taken some important decisions today's cabinet, and there was a cabinet subcommittee, and cabinet subcommittee has recommended, and accordingly we have taken a decision where 6% reservation will be for SC left, 5.5 for SC right, and 4.5 for touchables, and 1% for others. Similarly, there was a demand for reorganize the backward classes, and there was an interim report by the backward class, and according to that we have taken a decision, and we have only got two classes now, more backward and most backward. In more backward, we have shifted backward from more backward, and we have made 2C and 2D. 2C is the Vokkaligas. We have increased their reservation from 5 to 7. 2D is Panchimshali, Veerashaiva, Lingayats and others.
I'm joined at this hour by my colleague Shrija. Well, Shrija, with elections round the corner, this is clearly to appease two categories of electorate. But tell our viewers, will this actually translate into votes?
Well, if you clearly see that over the past few months that especially the Lingayats and, they have been, Panchimali Lingayats have been fighting for reservation. They have been carrying out protests for the last few months. And of course, right now the Karnataka government has finally decided, especially now, how they have planned to placate, especially the Lingayat community, is by scrapping the 4% of reservation granted to Muslims under the 2B category, and they've placed them under especially the economic weaker section, and this is under the reservation category, which will also be shared amongst the Brahmins, Jains and other communities as well. Now, this particular 4% reservation, which has been shared by two dominant communities of the state, which is one, of course, the Vokkaligas and the Lingayats. Now, Lingayats constitute at least about 17% of the population in Karnataka, and while the Vokkaligas also constitute the majority in terms of 15 to 16%. Now, both of these are very important in terms of elections, and they also determine the poll outcomes, not just for the BJP, but as far as the Vokkaligas are also concerned, it's for the Congress as well. But now we see the Vokkaligas, which were included under the 2C category, created, this was back in 2022 in December, which means now they will be getting a 6%, and this is from 4%, an increase by 2%. And as far as the Lingayats, which is falling under the newly created 2D category, which will get a total of 7% as far as Chief Minister Basavaraj Bommai is concerned. Now, here's his cabinet, which has decided something like this. Now, as far as the Muslims are concerned, we see that they have been shifted from the 4% pool to the EWS, which is the economic weaker sections, where Bommai clearly, the Chief Minister clearly said, categorically said, the community would get more opportunities. But however, how much would this, of course, would translate to votes is what something remains to be seen. But remember, this is something which, especially the particular subset of the Lingayats, which is the Panchimali Lingayats, which has been, fighting for this kind of a reservation for the last few months. But again, we must wait and watch how much this will translate into votes. But what we do see as we speak is that, yes, of course, the BJP is already facing a huge anti-incumbency wave. Now, this definitely comes as just another poll gimmick by especially the Bommai government, and also the Bommai government announcing a reservation as far as the 2D category is also concerned, comes as a huge, winning in terms of as far as the Lingayat community is concerned. So clearly we see, according to the Karnataka government, the act was also enacted provide reservation of seats in educational institutions of the state of Karnataka, and also of appointments of posts and services under the state for the persons belonging to scheduled castes and scheduled tribes. But again, like how you pointed out, how much of this will actually prove beneficial, especially for the BJP at the time when they are facing anti-incumbency wave. We have to wait and watch once the election happens.
So interesting times there in Karnataka, interesting moves by the government as the elections draw closer. Thank you very much, Shrija, for joining us at this hour.